Hey everybody, welcome to Shit I Love with Jason Stewart. I'm here with my guest, KRISTIN Minter.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
It's Minter.
Minter.
Yes, I said Minter.
Like winter with an M.
Yes.
I'm nobody's mentor.
You're mine a bit.
Not really.
You really have been so supportive of me. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, really? Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no,
My pleasure.
We're new fast friends. A couple years ago, we met while doing a film called DIRY
Right.
that my friend and your friend Paul Laya starred in and produced. And we really didn't get to know each other. And then we just kept running into each other around town. And all of a sudden now we're friends.
Yes.
Which I sort of love.
Yes, me too.
And I got to tell you, the other day we were talking on the phone. So I looked up you and I looked up your demo reel. And I was so impressed.
With how I'm naked all the time?
You weren't that naked in it.
Well.
You're really sexy. You're really sexy. And it's so funny because in life, not that you're not sexy in life, but I think of you, maybe because I'm gay, but I think of you as a beautiful woman, of course, but I think of you as smart and funny and interesting and a dog lover and all these other things. But you really, I mean, they really press the sexuality with you in all these roles, I gotta say.
Well, but I think I underplay the sexuality, like with the ER thing. Like, I was never sexy on that show. I had really crazy outfits on.
No, but you have a lot of power. You have a lot of power.
That's right. I have a lot of power.
No,
That's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about my power.
No, you really do in your work. You really do have a lot of work. And as a person, you're very humble. You're very humble and very sweet. But in your roles, you're really, really powerful. So let's talk about ER, which was your first really big series. I mean, you'd done another series before that was on for like a season, right? The Evil, what was it called?
Oh, I did that during ER. I was doing both shows at the same time, which was the greatest time in my life.
How rare.
My last day was 72 hours straight.
Oh my God.
That was great.
How did you get ER? How did that come about? I mean, it was...
I auditioned for it.
One of the biggest shows on television at the time.
I auditioned for it with Jenna Elfman and...
Wow.
I think Deborah Messing and I was just very specific about what I was doing as that character. And whenever I noticed, whenever I immediately have an idea of the specificity. Thank you.
Is that even that right?
Yeah, specific. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's like
somebody will write it.
Anonymity. I like to screw that word up too. Or Swarovski. I can't say it. Crystals. I just can't do it. I think that my teeth are too small and my lips are too big and I just can't talk normal. Or I'm just stupid, let's be honest.
No, don't say
no, I know I'm not stupid.
I'm
just super specific. And so when I went in, I was just super specific and they kept every single thing I did.
Wow.
And I was only supposed to do 3 episodes. And then I ended up doing something like 78 or 83 or...
You were on from 2003 until 2000... I'm sorry, you were on from 95 to 2003.
Yeah.
Wow. And before that, you were in the movie Home Alone.
Yes.
The original.
The other series I did was the outside. I can't remember my resume, I gotta be honest.
Well, I have it right here in front of you. You were in the movie Home Alone, the original.
Yes.
What did you play in that? I don't remember. You must have been so
young. Played a pivotal character to the plot of the movie. I count the wrong kid at the van. The neighbor's kid is in the van. It's my fault. We leave Macaulay Culkin home alone. I knew I couldn't get cut.
Wow. And the residuals on that must have been just incredible.
They were insane. And it was great because at the time, I just broken up with my boyfriend and he moved out and I broke my foot so I couldn't work.
Were you living in New York when you
No,
did this?
No, here.
You got this, so because it filmed in Chicago. And who did you work with in the film?
I worked with everybody. I worked with Joe Pesci, Catherine O'Hara, John Hurd. I worked with everyone.
He just passed.
I know. It's so funny because at first I thought he was a little off-putting.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end, we were fast friends at the end. Because he was a little off-putting in the beginning, and then I just was like, look, I don't have to talk to you. I just walked away. And he's like, I like you, and I'm like, okay.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What was Catherine O'Hara like?
Oh, I love Catherine O'Hara. I think her husband is from Yardley, Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And she's lovely. Every time I see her, she remembers me, and I'm always shocked. She's lovely. She's
the funniest
lovely.
woman I've ever seen.
She is the funniest woman I've ever seen.
Such a wonderful actress,
and
too.
Such a lovely person.
Did you see her in Temple Grandeur?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. It was around
5 years ago. It was an HBO film with
Claire Danes, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And she played her mother, I think, in it, or aunt, and she got an Emmy nomination for that. It was drama, totally. It just shows you that so many people, I find, have more facets to them if they just had opportunity.
Well, I think in order to be funny, you have to be super dark.
Oh, I think so most of the time. Not every comedian can be a good actor.
That's true.
But a lot of them are. What?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Some of them are, yeah.
I mean, to me, that film was a ship of great character actors.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I meant Home Alone.
Oh, Home Alone. Oh, my God, yeah.
Great character.
Joe Pesci was hilarious.
Did
you see my dog? You see my dog?
He's so committed, and he doesn't care what's on the page, right?
He's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the new film The Irishman with De Niro and Pacino.
Oh, another Goodfellas.
Well, we'll see. It's going to come
out
this
Goodfellas.
year.
I remember when I went to see Goodfellas. It was when Home Alone was just, was it Home
Same
Alone
year.
That was coming? No. When I was doing Home Alone, I had already done this movie called There Goes My Baby, which I fondly call There Goes My Career.
Why?
Anyway. And I had done The Outsiders, and The Outsiders premiered on TV.
The Outsiders, which was the television version of the Coppola film.
When I was doing Home Alone. And I remember when I came home and I was watching Goodfellas, and when they would show someone's face that big on the screen, I kept imagining my face, and I started getting really sick. And that was before the violence started in the movie, but I had to leave the theater because I thought I was going to throw up. It's very daunting to see your head that big on a screen.
It is. And that close up.
Yeah.
For the first time.
It's super upsetting.
Oh, stop. Well, David Arquette was in that series.
Yes.
And Billy Bob Thornton.
Yes. Billy Bob Thornton owned the gas station with a bunch of antique furniture. And then he developed some sort of affliction with antique furniture.
In real life? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. I heard that. He can't have it around.
Yeah. I wonder if it's from The Outsiders. Do you think that The Outsiders
Well, if I ever meet him, now I have something to ask about him. And then Sean
kidding.
Kanan was in it, who's a friend of mine. We were in acting class together. And I have on a Chubbuck's class, I believe. So
I never really knew Sean Kanan that well. I was a greaser, so he was a... What was the other?
He was a soc.
He was a soc, yeah. Oh God,
so I want to know, what I'm really curious about is the idea of being on a show for that long amount of time. ER. What is it like when they give you your parking pass and you get to keep coming back? You came on as 3 episodes, so were you considered? I don't remember. Were you considered a regular, or was it still a guest star contract?
Well, it was reoccurring, but we could have called ourselves regulars because we did more than 12 episodes a season.
Right, and I had Ellen Crawford on the show, and
also
Lily.
Lily, and I love Lily.
Yeah, and she was. Did you know her from that show?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
How do you say her last name? I don't want to say it wrong.
Mine? Minter?
No, Lily's.
Marie.
Lily Marie. It's pronounced Marie. Okay, because it's spelled differently, and I want to make sure I say it right.
Lily Marie. I always call her Lily Marie. She goes, Marie's my last name. And I'm like, yeah, but there's people like that. There's a guy I know named Sean Barnes. I like to call him Sean Barnes.
A lot of people call me Jason Stewart.
Jason Stewart, yeah.
So what was it like working on that show and knowing that you had a job? What a feeling.
There was a lot of stress on that show because we did these long takes of, we call them oneers. And,
walking and talking.
Walking and talking.
Which people at home don't know that's very hard to do.
It's very hard to do. And a lot of times I drove the camera.
Which means you're the one that the camera's following.
Yes, the camera's following me, and it was a lot of pressure. And I had a lot of... And, yeah, I remember I would run because, you get nervous. And if I screw up...
It's everybody.
I screw up, it's everybody, yeah. So there's a lot of pressure. And I only folded once. And it was when, what was her name? She was the secretary in Against All Odds. I love her. What is her name?
I don't know, what character did she play? I could look it up.
She was the secretary.
Well, nonetheless, go ahead, tell the story.
Anyway, so I had to say, so it was so funny because it was either me or Noah Wiley. Noah Wiley's word was hemoglobinemia, which I can say really easily for some reason. Hemoglobinemia. I could say it fast. Hemoglobinemia. Hemoglobinemia. But my line was, oh, she's she was a TV evangelist, and she's got red hair, and I love her so much. And when you get older, you just forget everyone's name.
Amy Simple McPherson?
No.
Catherine Coleman?
No, look up, could you look up,
yeah.
Look up Against All Odds. My friend wrote Against All Odds, by the way. Mm-hmm. Eric Hughes. Anyway, I had to say this tongue-twisty thing where my mother watches them on TV every day, and I can't even remember it now. I can remember most of my lines, but I can't even remember that one. And I remember I was just saying it so fast that my brain was getting ahead of my mouth. And,
that's happened to me. Against All Odds with Jeff
yes.
Bridges, yeah.
Yeah. She has a big part in it.
Jane Greer.
Let me see.
Susie Kurtz.
Susie Kurtz! I love Susie Kurtz! I can't believe I forgot her name. I'm such a jerk.
No, she's great.
Yeah, Susie Kurtz was playing the TV evangelist. And, my costumes were really tight, and I couldn't eat, and I would run when I would get home from work at 10 o'clock at night for an hour just to make sure I could fit in my costume the next day.
Wow, that's really sad.
Is it sad?
Why couldn't they just make the costumes a little bigger?
Well, isn't that because it was my character. I'm an ex-convict on the show, and I wear this always inappropriate outfits that supposedly I've made.
Oh, okay.
Randi wear, and yeah. But it was a great fun. I got to meet everybody on the planet: James Cromwell, Sally Field. I mean, everyone.
What was it like working with Sally?
She was lovely.
What is her process?
I don't know what her process. I mean, you kind of don't get involved. You have to really concentrate on what you have to do on that. You can't, right. There's not a lot of chatting outside.
Well, that's good, because I think a lot of people will see a show and they'll see somebody not being really friendly or something, and they don't realize that sometimes it takes this inordinate amount of energy and focus to do stuff and to be
over.
Right, and to be in the moment.
Our wonders were 32 takes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'd have to do it that many times.
Yeah.
Why?
Just to make sure everything went well. And I remember, I remember
because they cut
remember
them up.
Rocket Romano.
Oh, sure.
Paul McCrane.
I love Paul McCrane.
Love Paul McCrane. He would have these speeches at the very end of the Wonders, and we would burst into applause because he would do it and do it so well, and it was so long, and we're all like, I hope he gets through it because that was a pretty good one,
How was his process? How did he do it? Did he ever tell you?
No.
Wow.
No.
No one ever talked about that.
No one ever talked about the process.
How odd, in a way, because that's what we do, I always find that odd.
Well, when I came on to the show, Anthony Edwards, I said to him, if you have any tips for me on my first day, I said, if you have any tips for me, please let me know. And he goes, nope, just do what you did to get here.
Oh.
And
was George Clooney on when you were on?
Yeah.
Oh, I've worked with him before.
Yes, Clooney used to, because I'm the admit clerk, and I have to pick up the phone all the time. And he used to slime the ear things with some sort of jelly that's in the ER. It's some, sterile jelly. I got him back once.
What did you do?
I could probably get in trouble for this. I went in his trailer and I put it on his phone in his trailer and I said, "Oh, your phone's ringing in your trailer."
This is before we had cells, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably laughed his head off.
I hope so. I ran away. Well, the one thing that I was really proud of on ER is they had this basketball wall, and you could sign it if you could get the basketball in from this very strange mid-court parking spot, which was a parking spot A. We called it the A-hole. And I got it in 3. And Clooney did not believe me. And so I had to do it again. And I signed that wall so big. And I took a picture of it because I knew my dad would be so proud.
Oh, wow. I mean, you've done an incredible amount of episodic television. I mean, you really have. What do you think the trick is to getting those shows?
Being specific. Let's see if I can say that word again. Specificity.
Specificity.
Oh my God, forget it. We're never saying
But you could
the
say,
word.
you know, hold on, what was the other one? You could say that.
Specific. Oh, Swarovski crystals?
You got to work with one of my all-time favorite directors, and I can never say her name, Nicole Hausenfrossen.
Oh, yes.
And you work with her on...
Friends with Money.
Right, with Frances McDormand and Joan.
I worked with Frances McDormand. Yeah.
What was that like? It was before she became so eccentric? Or?
Oh, I always thought she was so cool.
Was she eccentric on that?
Yeah, she's herself.
I love that.
She is her authentic self, and and
was she wearing one of her Amish dresses?
Yes.
She wears those dresses all the time. It seems like in all the award shows this year, she wore the different colors, the same dress.
She didn't have her makeup done in her trailer. She had it done with everyone in the one trailer.
I love that.
And she was just salt of the earth. She was just normal.
She loves the work.
Yeah.
I read an article in the Los Angeles Times about her, and I was so moved by it. And I
want to read that article.
Yeah, it's online. It was so moved by it. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks like, oh God, okay, maybe you could be a little more bendable about stuff. What's the big deal about having your picture taken? What's the big deal about putting on some makeup? What's the big deal about fixing your hair? What's the big deal about all of that? And then I think, well, it just isn't her. So it is a big deal. To me, it isn't.
Right. Well, you don't have hair to fix.
So. No, I don't. But I like, but I like my head shaved nicely, and I like to look good.
Right.
I like to look good.
She wants to be felt, I think.
Yes.
I want to be felt too.
Yeah.
It's funny, every time I get to play a really ugly character, I think that I look better as the ugly character than I do when they're trying to make me look good.
Why is that?
I don't know. Because maybe I have no expectations.
Oh, wow. Well, you're a beautiful gal.
I think I'm beautiful inside.
Yeah, you are. You're sweet. There's a kindness to you. But you
I don't want to be sweet, though.
But you are. There's a kindness and sweet.
I'm kind.
And there's a feeling of support that I appreciate a lot.
Good.
So when you work with someone like her, how is it different than most?
I'm nervous.
Does she relax you? Like
She was so nice. I actually, she was kind of far away from me. So
in the shot?
Yeah. But I have to say I was starstruck. I was very starstruck with her.
Wow.
And I told them in the audition that I would pay them if I could work with Frances McDormand.
How much do you have to pay?
Well, they actually paid me, but...
Let me take a break here for just a second. I'm going to do a little commercial here.
Okay.
It's your home away from home in Silver Lake, Casa Crawford. And it's wonderful. It's in walking distance of Echo Park and Silver Lake. Casa Crawford is the perfect bed and breakfast or Airbnb. It's only 3 miles from downtown to Hollywood. You get your own large bedroom, wonderful artwork, and a gorgeous view of the Hollywood Hills. That's Casa Crawford. But all you have to do is call for a reservation at 323-663-1664. That's 323-663-1664. And talk to my friend Scott, Casa Crawford. Great place to stay while you're in Los Angeles. So I'm just, when everybody does, because I've done a bit of episodic TV, probably, I'd say around 40 episodes over the years. But you've done something, working on Ray Donovan, you were working in the first season.
Yeah.
And that was really, I remember seeing you in it. And when I saw the demo reel, I did not even, because the energy of this character is so not you.
It's animal.
Yes. How was it like working with him? The guy that says 3 words in a scene and you have...
He was so great. So the thing was, I dieted so hard.
Why?
Because I knew I was going to be in less than my underwear.
So tell me about this. Why do women feel that is a look that all men want? Because I think it's not true. I got to tell you, I talk to straight guys all the time, and they don't.
I don't think it's about men. It's about women judging you.
Really?
or me judging myself.
Oh, because I think that men.
So I worked out 4 hours a day and ate very little. And so when I was on set, I was sitting there watching behind the camera the stunt girl do the stunt. And I was like, oh, this is the first time I've ever been so glad to have a stunt girl, right?
Tell people what happened in the scene so they'll know.
I jump on his back and he flips me over his head onto a bed, and then I in my underwear.
And were you wearing a top?
Yeah.
Oh, and a bra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm in my underwear, and I'm over 40. It's scary to be in your underwear, with Liev Schreiber.
Right. Such an intense actor with such purpose in everything that he does.
Yes. And also jumping on his back and, being flipped over his head and, I was tired, I was already tired. And the thing is, it's a very emotional scene. Like, it's not that you would understand what's going on in me, but I just got caught doing something. I'm having sex with my husband's brother. It doesn't really come out, but just like if you think of the ramifications of that in real life. So I was super upset. Yeah. And it was a lot of takes. The scratch took a lot of takes.
What does the scratch mean?
I scratch his face. He walks over to me and I hit him. So
it's very technical.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to keep the emotional life really.
And I was thinking I wasn't going to have to do the stunt. I was thinking the stunt girl was going to have to do the stunt.
They don't tell you everything. It's
no.
That's and I always ask because I like to know what's going on before I do it. It makes me feel safe.
Yeah, so I was sitting there just behind the camera being very quiet because I was like, if I have to do this, I really have to reserve my energy for this, and not be super friendly. Like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, people don't get that.
Yeah, and so he came up to me and he's like, so where are you from? And I said, oh, I'm fine. I'm like, I'm not nervous. I'm just trying to, keep my energy to a minimum. And he's like, I know you're fine. Where are you from? I was like, oh, right, you're making conversation. I'm like, I'm from Yardley, Pennsylvania. No one knows where that is. I'm like, where are you from? And actually, he trained to be a stunt guy in England. And my mom rides horses with his aunt.
Lev?
Yeah.
Wow.
Liev.
Oh, it's two. Oh. One of my favorite movies that he did was The Painted Veil that he did with his ex-wife.
I like Salt.
Oh, did you? I love The Painted Veil. I just love it. It was such a David Lean-esque film. And it sort of got...
I was so disappointed to hear they broke up.
I know. That was sad. Because they have kids and everything.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
I just thought they were an adorable couple. Anyway.
You never know. It's hard to know.
Don't I know that?
Yeah, what goes on behind closed doors.
Or what goes on at the office.
Exactly. Ooh.
Snap.
Yes. But doing that show, did that give you a little bit of a bump in your career, I would think?
I think that my next challenge is to actually know how to sell myself.
Oh, because now...
Because I didn't do anything after. I mean, not that I didn't do anything to sell what I did.
You never got a publicist?
No, nothing.
Wow.
No, I just like to work. I just love the work, and
that's most of us.
I don't like the rest of it. I don't like talking about it. I don't like the rest of it. I just like to work.
It's hard because...
But there's a balance. You have to have a balance there.
There is... People would say about me that, oh, he likes to do PR, he likes to do this. But I learned from being a stand-up comic, and people don't realize this, before I started acting as much as I do now, that if, as a stand-up comic, it was in your contract that you would have to do PR.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You were
expected.
expected.
You your own PR.
Yes, and you were expected to do it, and you were expected to be good at it. I remember one of the first jobs I was doing, I was an opening act at the San Jose Last Laugh, and I said, hey, could I go to the radio station with a headliner? I'd like to go. I've never been to a radio station before. And they said yes, and I came and I saw the headliner do it, and he wasn't really good at it. And then I heard the owner of the club say to the radio guy when the headliner comedian was in the bathroom, yeah, we're not sure we can use him again. He's a great comic, but he's bad on radio. And I thought, oh my God, you have to be good at all of this.
Yeah.
So when my career, as our careers take highs and lows, when my career in comedy, I decided I didn't want to tour anymore, I started to do tons of independent films, and I used that same work ethic with those films. And when it came down between me and somebody else, a lot of the time I'd get the part because I had the whole PR thing in motion. And then I'd be an artist and really do my work and do it great. And then I'd get on the PR bandwagon and do as much as I could. I'd say, what can I do to support the film, please? And I would, call the publicist on the film and say, hey, this is Jason Stewart. I'm playing the part of Joe. Anything you need me to do, here's my information. This is where you can get pictures. And she'd say, thank you. And then people would call when the big star couldn't do something. And then all of a sudden, my profile went up. Yeah.
Well, so then everybody please follow me on Instagram and Twitter because I'm new to that. Us over 40s, we don't like social media.
Well, Dane Cook did it to us in the comedy world. He became the first big social media comedian for MySpace. Yeah, he became the first one, and we were all expected to do that after that. And now,
so you know how to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can barely work my cell phone. I mean, come on.
No, well, we got to stop.
It's not true. It's not true, though. I have to be honest with you. I can edit myself now. I can self-tape. I self-tape other people. I can download it. This week, I learned to download it onto Dropbox. This other email, eDrop or whatever.
I know that's
iMovie, everything. I learned how to do because when you have to figure it out, you have to figure it out.
Exactly. Now
so I need to figure it out now.
You just did This Is Us, which is probably one of the biggest. I think it is the biggest network show. Is it not?
I have to tell you, I love that show so much.
So do I.
I love that show. I think the acting on that show was so good. And I didn't know who I was going to work with. I knew I was working with, oh no, here comes another
Christy? You work with Christy? Or who did you work? You were
I work with Niles Finch, but I'm trying to think of.
Well, you played the one that was pretending to be his mom. Right,
but what's his character's name? I'm having to bring
Sterling?
Yeah, Sterling K. Brown plays it too, but
yeah, he plays it too.
Randall! There it is.
Yeah.
Randall! Everyone's favorite character. I played his fake mom! I was so proud.
It was really great. And you looked terrible. It was great.
Did you think I looked terrible?
Oh, yeah. You were like
I think I looked pretty good for a
drug addict.
Yeah.
But you were like somebody, the energy of it. I honestly, unless you would have told me that was you, I wouldn't have known that was you again.
Really?
There's a thing about you that disappears.
Well, yeah, I was in character for a long time, and they would come out, and I was so grateful to be on that show. It was 97 degrees. I had on a sweatshirt with a shirt over it, a jacket. I'm on the brink because I had to be able to rationalize in my head what I was doing. So how desperate did I have to be to solicit a teenager to try and get money for my drug habit? I mean, you have to be pretty low.
Oh, I would think so.
And so I stayed real low. Sometimes I was crying in it. And they would tell me be more cracky this time. We shot it 1,000,000 times, and the directors were so. They were the directors who did Love Actually.
What?
They were the directors from Love Actually, and they said to me afterwards, they said, that was quite a performance. And I said, thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. Like I said, I just love the work.
I mean, I think it doesn't matter. It was Richard Curtis? Was it Richard Curtis?
Love Actually, it's two different directors, and they Glenn and
no, it's not Love Actually. I know who you're talking about. Those guys, they work as a team. Yes.
They didn't do Love Actually.
No,
I thought they did Love Actually.
No, we should do good service to them and say what they did. No, I think they did something else with that in the title. I am a big fan of theirs, and I actually meant them because they did that movie with.
You'll have to edit that out for me.
Of course. It's a Glenn Faraka and John.
Glenn and John.
Yeah, and they did the film with Jim Carrey called I Love You. Oh, who is it? I Love You. Oh, God. I Love You, Philip Morris. And they also did, I think they also did one, they wrote Focus.
Oh wow! Really, I love Focus.
Yeah. I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah.
They did Focus, and they also did Oh, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Oh, I love that movie. I think the PR for that movie was.
I thought it was a great movie.
I thought it was a great movie, but everybody
thing,
thought it was going to be a comedy, and I
yes.
didn't think it was. When is there a comedy with war? You know, I mean, you can do it dark, funny, but I knew it wasn't going to be a comedy, and it was kind of publicized like it was going to be a comedy.
And they also directed, Crazy Stupid Love, which was a very
Crazy Stupid Love, I think is
that's the one you were thinking of, not Love Actually. Yeah.
Well, no, they said Love Actually to me, but they didn't say it to me. Somebody else on set said it.
Oh. So we've been talking. So what do you think the problem is for a woman over 40 in the business? Because I believe that you're making a transition.
I think the business is making a transition.
Both at the same time.
Yes. Because to be honest, women over 40 are more interesting.
Oh God, you're at the best part of your life.
Yeah. And
Jessica Lange said it after she won her Oscar for Blue Skies, she talked about, and then after all that hype had come, she did a couple films, and some of them were successful, and a number of them were not as big hits,
Right.
And she said, I'm at the best place that I am. I'm ready to do my best work, and there are no roles available. So she went back to the theater, and she did Streetcar and Named Desire, and she did it as a film actress. And a lot of people would say she was brilliant in the first 10 rows, but no one could see later. And then she went back, she just kept working on it, and went back years later to do Long Journey into Night, did it in London, did it on Broadway, won the Tony, and completely learned to be a theater actress in her 40s and 50s.
Oh, wow.
Or 50s, probably now 60s. So I think, that's what's incredible, is that we can keep evolving as actors. Katharine Hepburn did the same thing, because she went back and started doing all the classics and doing really, really great things in her 50s, which was the...
well, I'm willing to do that.
In the 60s.
There's just no, there's not a lot of theater here.
There is a lot of theater. We have more theater in Los Angeles than they do in New York. But the theater here is very spotty, and it's also not being done by... people. A lot of the theater is not being done by people who know theater. Even in New York, I have to say, the theater isn't as good as it used to be.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's because everything is about these big, musicals that were, movies and
stuff.
Now
they're doing musical movies.
Right.
But I think that the transition might be because people have taken a stand against inappropriate behavior. Because that's men always want much younger women, which is kind of limits things. But if if women start taking over listen, there's always going to be indiscriminate behavior in an artist.
That's a really interesting subject matter that you said in a sort of Lily Tomlin, Diane Keaton-esque kind of way. Is that the idea that Clint Eastwood is not going to be able to have a wife that's 20 or 30 years younger than him anymore, and literally sometimes it's that much. You'll see a woman in her 50s and he's in his 80s, and you'll see that a lot in films. And hopefully you'll see husbands and wife that are closer.
Well, I just think that you have these men who are running a business based on their personal preferences, and they haven't yet matured clearly, and so I'm hoping. That I hear that a bunch of women bought the Weinstein Company. I'm not sure if that's true or not. And I think they should call it the Womanstein Company. And I think that they should do a lot of women, female...
oriented films?
Yes.
What's really so weird about him, it is so strange, is they made such great movies. And they made a lot of movies starring women.
Yeah.
From Gwyneth Paltrow to Meryl Streep to everybody. I mean... Crazy great taste, crazy wonderful films, tons of Oscar winners, lauded, and yet he could be so awful to women at the same time. So
well, I think there's not a balance. Like you're making it sound like there was a balance there.
No, there is no. No.
Like, I don't think there were enough women in the movies.
No. I take that back. I don't mean there was no balance. What I'm saying is it's just a strange conundrum of sorts. That he would have this.
No, it's not. It's a man with power. Think about it.
Really?
All men with power do that shit.
So you think? Oh,
Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. A lot of men with power
because you just
resort to things like that.
But you said in your last breath that no, they weren't. They were. A lot of these men were doing boys' movies, having the girls play, much younger characters in the lead. So I think that he did.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, that's what
no,
I was thinking.
I said that they were casting movies based on their maturity level, and
I just assumed that's what you meant.
No,
yeah,
what I was saying is, hopefully we'll get some mature people in there, because look at the state of our country. I mean, we're a mess.
Yeah,
we need to all grow up. Well,
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
and I think that
so
you need some strong over 40 role models.
Even us in misunderstanding each other, it's because it's so complicated. It really is.
Yeah.
Because it's so complicated. That people who can do incredible work can also be terrible people.
Well, it's a power.
How do we
deal with
money thing? Right. How do we make these guys better guys?
Well, they have to make themselves better guys. They have to stop being so insecure about everything,
Right.
And if there's something they don't like about themselves, then everybody needs to take responsibility for themselves, and stop blaming everyone else and
I think you're right.
I
think people have to take responsibility.
We just have a lot of arrested development. Everybody wants everything handed to them. They don't want to work for it, And if they do this, they expect something. They expect this, but it's much bigger than, I just want to work.
No, I understand. We all do. We all just want to do our work and do our craft.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder as one gets older, I believe.
Well, it's a lot easier when one gets older, to be honest, to do our craft.
The work gets easier, but the getting of the work seems in a different way.
Well, that's a story. I don't think it necessarily has to be like that. I mean, it depends on content.
Well, I love
Create
that.
your own content then.
I love that. Well, that's what I've done a number of times. I'm actually trying to do something now.
Yeah.
And get about the idea of being over 50.
Yeah, because I don't want to live by everyone's story about what's going on. I want to make my own story.
I love that. Are you going to create something yourself? Are you working on things?
I mean, I'm working on stuff. We'll see.
You have a movie
coming. I'll just do my next indicated action, and I'll figure it out.
You have a movie coming out called Shore Cliff, but you're not
Cliff Shore. I don't know.
Cliff Shore?
I heard they changed the title.
But I saw a picture of you in it that you showed me. My God.
I'm a maid.
Wow. I don't think you've ever played a maid, have you?
No.
I'm
usually a whore. Or a drug addict, or, a prison ex-convict.
It's so funny because I don't get that vibe from you as a person.
I know. It upsets my dad. He's like, you had such a nice upbringing. Why do you have such parts?
That's so funny. So tell me about that part.
Well, I gave myself a limp because...
Wow, I love that.
I wanted to be more believable. And at first the director, I don't think, wanted me to do it. It's subtle. It's a subtle limp, so it's not like I just... to be honest, I put rocks in my shoe, which really hurt. And that's
what they said. That's what Laurence Olivier said to Dustin Hoffman in The Marathon Man. He said, I wanted to be, I stayed up all night because the scene, I was up all night. He said, young man, why don't you just act?
Right. Yeah. So except for when it's a limp.
That's what he said. He said if you somebody.
No, I know that story.
Oh, you do.
I know that story, but
the people listening don't.
It's not. But you just told it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Well, if I had to pretend like I was tired, I'm usually tired anyway because I do so much stuff. But in certain arenas, yes, I say just act, and in others, when you can make your life easier. Just stick a thing in your shoe.
Yes.
It
really...
That way I could concentrate on what I'm doing in my head, and I'll just have a limp.
It's just one less thing. Like somebody will say...
Yeah, it threw my back out, though, doing that. So maybe next time I will just limp.
Wow.
Yeah. I was committed to it, though.
So I didn't even ask you about this. You were in the movie Vanilla Ice?
Yes,
cool
I
ice,
am the person
cool as
that
ice.
he said, drop that zero and get with the hero, too.
That's a fascinating... He's like one of the first, or not one of the first.
White rappers.
Yeah, but he's also, one of these people that just became really, really famous from a song, pushed into a certain position, and then pushed off of it so quickly.
I actually think he was pretty talented, to be honest.
I think so,
and
too.
I think he got a really bad rap, because every rapper samples. But because he sampled Queen, he got into so much trouble.
Now they do it all the time.
And they never paid for it back then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He just, you know, his song got popular. And I don't know, I think they were kind of...
It's hard.
I think they were kind of mean to him. And then he gets thrown into a movie, right? And I thought he did a good job for his first movie. You know? No acting classes. He just did it.
It's hard. We love to push people up, and then we love to push people down, as they've always said.
Well, we like fallen heroes.
Very much so.
It's kind of sick.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Well, I think you're an incredibly talented actress.
Thank you so much.
And you're smart, and you're beautiful.
Thank you.
And if I were straight, I'd be, you know.
God, then we would be a couple.
You would be into me?
Yes.
Would you?
I like nice men. I have to say it right this second. I don't know. It'll present itself to me. I'm not looking for... I just want to work.
Right. So do you have a website?
I do.
What's it called?
KRISTINMINTER.net. KRISTINMINTER.net.
Okay. And all your social media is on that?
If it's not, then I'll put it on there today.
You really should. And that's how you can get a hold of her. If you forget her name or how to spell it, just go to jasonstuart.com, Stuart, and send me a message, and I will contact you with Miss Minter. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. It's been so fun.
Everyone, take care. Till next time.